as she proceeds to give you what you need. TONISTEELZ, baby. She's here, baby. Girl Podcast exclusive, okay? With Everyday BK.
Just let it go, come on, we gotta do it, baby. Game changes so much, we need someone who's gonna put it down.
Today we're making Callie York's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which include coconut flakes and mozzarella cheese, which we're substituting for toasted coconuts and Gruyere. So it's gonna have a smoky essence. It's gonna have a little sweet, a little nutty, and then the fun white bread.
Girls in the kitchen cooking
Alright, so 3 sandwiches should be about messy kitchen lady.
It's about to get messy up in here.
So that it can kind of dissolve, you know. That's the goal for the flakes. It's to melt into the cheese. So, and then the mozzarella being the original choice was for its mild salt profile. Like really light. And then it was light, you know, in terms of the color. Then I expected it to be gooey and stretchy. It was a little bit, but not like pizza. We have to mix the cheese with the coconuts before we spread it onto the bread. So that the cheese and the coconut make, you know, sort of bind the bread together. So if you ever grill grilled cheese on its own, you will know that it don't stick usually. The bread stays separate. But this is like a grilled cheese meets peanut butter and jelly. And that was the initial like, oh. And the coconuts was like, maybe. Let's see. I'm just thinking about the This is the cheese that's sneaky in macaroni and cheese when you don't know why you like it. You be sitting there like, what's in this? It'd be this cheese right here. This is in my book also.
What do they call that? A hot toddy? Is that what it is? Okay. Yeah. Who wants yummy? Who wants toasty?
I'll take yummy.
Toasting. Careful. Let it brew a little bit more.
Did you put these in the bags?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Look at that.
He got the drive. Me, I ain't got the drive. No.
Okay, so we are resuming, which means that I am now mixing. Just do this with the cheese. And this mix is going to line our bread with a touch of honey to compensate for the unsweetened coconut flakes that we're using presently. Which though adds a stronger essence of coconut, I might add. So it should be still a very fun and interesting experience for your palate. See, what you also notice is that the cheese is gonna be a little bit more. Like even if it's the same amount, the cheese takes over just a little bit. Okie dokie. So that's the mix. It does help to have soft butter, room temperature butter, but we just took it out the fridge a few minutes ago. It takes the butter a little while to get warm. So this is the outside, y'all. The butter's on the outside. We put this down, and then we put the peanut butter. My, recipe in the book uses crunchy peanut butter because everything else is kind of smooth. But it's in a reverse almost right now. Okay. So I personally like a peanut butter heavy sandwich versus like a jelly heavy. I don't want, the jelly is going to fall out on my clothes. So I prefer not to use a whole lot of jelly. With your hands or whatever device you care to use, I just lined up the cheese and the coconuts around the edge of the bread. A little bit on the peanut butter is okay. And the cheese melt together and they create an edge sort of a binding for your other bread. And that's what it looks like before you put the other piece on top. So you have the butter and jelly the other side.
Another one. Another one.
Oh man, that's naturally funny. We're not even intoxicated yet. And then you put your jelly on the other side. And here, like, I'll focus it in the middle so it meets the peanut butter, and then leave the edges bare so it can meet the cheese blend.
So, can I ask why you put butter on one side and jelly on the other? Like, why is the butter on the outside?
For the grilling point, right? So, like, when you put it in the skillet, it's either not going to have anything to kind of grasp, to heat through, or it's going to toast too much. You know, so with the bread, with the butter, it creates, like, you know, your grilled cheese crispy bread that you would have with that. So that's how you close that. And just tuck in your cheeses so you don't have too much of it on the outside. And then you put it onto your hot skillet.
So putting the cheese and the coconut just around the rim and not, is it too much to put it all over?
It's gonna be a different kind of mess, you know, different kind of experience with the whole plate. So this is like a pocket almost that you're making, like a peanut butter jelly pocket. Okay. Because once you cut it, the edges are sealed. You know, you could eat it through if you wanted to, but you know, aesthetically you cut it first so you can see it all kind of drippy and cheesy, and then you eat that.
Drippy and cheesy sounds dreamy. What is our tasks, chef?
Well, at this point, it's just assembly. So butter, warm that up a little bit more, make it easier to spread, but not completely soft that it melts into the bread. So it is a grilled cheese sandwich, right? So you're pressing, you're heating it through, and you'll see, you know, pretty quickly how this cheese responds. But you put it on for maybe 3 to 5 minutes on each side. Maybe. I think 3 to 5 is kind of excessive. You just kind of watch it and watch the cheese melt in and get your bread nice and toasty.
Ooh, you hear that sizzle? And I'm hungry. Those are big girls. Oh, I didn't get the flip over. I'll get the next one. It's okay.
So you got a nice even toast, you know, and so at this point you try to achieve the same thing on the other side. Like, it could get a little darker depending on how much your bread needs to, or your cheese needs to melt, because it's still hotter on the outside than it is on the inside. So you kind of like got to work it through, balance it out. But then the butter helps it have some flavor. This is an unsalted butter. But I think with the Gruyere cheese, add into the salt part of it, it should be good.
So, you had mentioned earlier that the coconut flakes were necessarily sweet.
Yeah.
They're toasty.
Oh, we forgot the
cheese
damn
gives it a little
honey.
toast. So,
Okay, we're gonna do this next time.
helps to give it some sweetness.
It does. But jelly is also not super, in my opinion, super sweet. Because I don't know, it's sweet enough. for when it meets the coconut to be like not overwhelming. All right. So once you feel like cheese is melted or your bread is toasted to your liking, your sandwich is done.
Make sure you get in that. Yes.
Yep, and then you can use that as a little dipper, a little dip. Just scoop it right up in there and add it back to your sandwich.
Dip, baby, dip. Dip, baby, dip.
Interesting.
We're gonna get a
Oh,
little bit of this.
going on.
Hold on, we got video. Y'all see that? This is good. I never thought to have peanut butter and jelly with cheese and coconut flakes. Oh
The
my
coconut flakes
gosh.
are so like, they just disappear.
Amazing.
But honey, I still think we'd add it though. We're gonna try that for the next one.
A grilled cheese peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
You're welcome. We did that.
And I ain't smoked today, so this is good.
Right? Like, we didn't get a chance to.
Alright, I'm gonna get in on this. Let's go. Wait, is this 2 layers?
Yeah.
Okay, we gonna do taste test.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Look at that cheese.
Listen, you ain't had PB&J like this before,
You
okay?
have
babe?
not.
No.
You have not.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm glad y'all like it.
Yes.
Yay. So does this scream like gourmet?
Listen, when you add coconut, brings like a touch of gourmet to whatever. Like once you add the coconut flakes.
Yes.
A little square bite. And that cheddar right. Right.
That's what she was saying. All right, so good. We got testimony. Because that is something that I didn't do.
See, she dancing. That's what I'm telling you. That's what good food makes you do. Yup. Yes. For the streets, y'all.
The cheese and the jelly together is, to me, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Awesome. And we're making more of these. Yeah.
Yeah, make some more.
Yeah. We making more of these. Not to give you some. We are getting toasty. And
Toasty with
tasty.
toasted.
And when she come over here, yummy. And these grilled cheese, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are yummy. You seen it here first, Girl Podcast. We'll be sharing the recipe with you. We'll be sharing a book where you can go get the recipe and all other recipes. Yep. Healthy eating, y'all. That's what we about. That's right.
It's fun eating. I ain't gonna say that.
Fun eating. Fun and healthy. And healthy.
Yeah, elevated fun food.
Elevated fun food, healthy fun food. Fills your spirit.
Because definitely it's fried. I got fried chicken, fried fish, fried, a lot of fried things. So healthy is subjective, right? I'm learning over time that healthy is your approach to life, which could vary in this consumption. So like, if you don't have a lot of pressure on yourself, that's a healthy life. Yeah. So if you drink and you still love yourself and you do well and you balance how often you do it, that's not unhealthy. The act of over consuming something that could damage you is unhealthy. So it's like, I just had the whole cancer thing change my perspective on what's healthy and what's not. And that included how I approach food. Because I used to be such a miser, like stickler about calories and fat and whatever the trending thing was about. Food was my diet. Yeah. And so when I learned that restriction and that negative idea about what I was putting in my body was worse than what was put into my body, I switched that whole shit around.
Y'all hear that, y'all? Words of wisdom. You know, there's something I always say. It's not what you eat, is how you eat.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Just like it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
Your delivery and things. So, yeah, I agree with that. So, yeah, healthy, fun eating, y'all. Ooh, I like that. Because this right here is definitely, listen, I love to eat. I love to eat, and I love trying different things, new things. I know for one, I would have never thought to have grilled cheese with peanut butter and jelly and coconut flakes.
I honestly don't even know how I came up with this. I really don't. I've been trying to remember, but I was exploring for all of COVID, and we were on lockdown. When I started realizing that it was fun to just put makeup on, and I didn't have to put pants on if I didn't feel like it, that was it. That's all I needed.
I love that. I love that. Finding fun new ways of eating, because for so long we've been eating the same thing, over and over and over. So learning that you can actually eat cheese with peanut butter.
Everybody's like, "Oh, my stomach."
Yeah.
Be surprised.
Right.
Be surprised and be delighted.
Listen, I think it was last year maybe when I started actually eating apples and peanut butter.
Ooh, yeah.
And I love apples and peanut butter. I never even thought that was something that I would like, but I love it. So you said in 2020 is when you started experimenting. I mean, that was definitely a time for everybody to experiment, because what were we doing? We had nothing else to do. We couldn't go nowhere. We couldn't enjoy anything else but, ourselves and our company. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But you've been cooking long before that, right?
Yeah. I have two daughters, 22 and 18. So for at least 22 years, I've been cooking food. I was cooking since I was 9, though, because my parents taught me how to cook. Yeah. My mom was she was in and out of the hospital a lot. And I didn't realize that, until, later, how much I was sort of groomed for self-sufficiency because of my parents not being, well, or the best, in the best position to be a caretaker.
Yeah.
So
what was the first thing you learned how to cook?
I remember I burned some fish. It was burnt in my opinion.
Was that the first thing you was cooking?
Yeah, fried fish.
I still don't know
with some. I'll never forget it. It was white rice, because we had white rice every day. Some fish and mixed vegetables, the frozen ones though. The peas and the carrots and stuff in the bag. Those. That was my first meal.
Wow. So what is your favorite dish to cook? I
love chicken. I learned how to make this chicken inside of a cast iron skillet. So it's really easy. You oil that up, put the skillet itself in, before you oil it, you put the skillet in the oven to heat up. And then you take it out, then you oil it, and then if you have onions and garlic or whatever, you put that in there. And then you put your chicken in there and you sear it on all of this outside. And then once it's seared, you might have to move it, depends on the size of your skillet. You can leave it all in there, sear it and leave it in the pan, or take it out and sear it, just make sure all your chicken is seared on the outside. And then you will put it back in the oven to cook through. So 25, 30 minutes. But the outside is cooked, and then so the inside is cooking inside of the cooked skin, which makes it juicier versus all running out and getting dry. So
you like juicy chicken?
Yes. So all parts of the chicken. You don't get dry white meat with this. And the dark meat. Oh, and then you put, I'm getting all excited. What do you call that stuff? Thyme in it, and then you put it in the oven. Absolutely amazing.
Really good. Is this recipe in your cookbook?
No.
Ooh, so we're getting exclusives today.
Yeah,
that's exclusive.
So then part 2 cookbook?
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. And maybe a part 3 and 4, because I've learned so much. I've added so much to my repertoires and met so many amazing businesses that I would love to have included in this one, but they weren't established in 2020. They just now got their foot in, and or they opened up in the last 3 years.
And here we are at the grill. Ooh, can y'all hear that? Listen, here at Girl Podcast, y'all, we love some food.
Wait, can we say that again though?
Here at Girl Podcast, we
Yeah, you wanted
love
to flip
some
before?
food.
Oh yes, please. I want to
We
flip.
love to eat.
I want to do the flip.
Here.
Wait, y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Press down, press down, press down.
I'm cooking.
How toasty that is. Oh, it's nice and grilled on top.
Oh yes.
Oh.
Look at that, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a successful choice to use wheat bread with. Any sturdy bread that you can get is gonna do good. I wouldn't recommend Wonder Bread for something like this unless you use less of the products altogether. But Wonder Bread is just not as thick.
Yeah, so it's a little.
Yeah, the Hearty White or the whole wheat white. Yeah, they don't take long.
You know, it's an honor and a pleasure to have Eurila with us because, you know, we're all about supporting women, small businesses, and we're all about supporting Black businesses as well.
Yes, everyday BK.
Everyday BK, honey. And, you know, we from Brooklyn, honey. We got to represent. Spread love is the Brooklyn way all day.
All day. Speaking of love. Speaking of love,
Yes.
I love Black Men in Real Life edition.
Listen,
These
we gotta
guys
talk
came
about that.
out. I love it. It was so nice to see everybody.
First of all, we can't just go into that.
Okay, we
have
not-
to
all right.
talk about how I Love Black Men in Real Life started.
Yes.
Yes.
We have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because, honey, I love some Black men.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Listen.
we can start this chat now or when we get to the blue wall. It's up to y'all. I'm
My
good.
shoulders look- Yes.
So, and then once you're done, you can make a grilled cheese with that or whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do.
Show me how you move.
Hey, it's all up to you. Listen, I gotta
Oh my gosh.
There is a song.
There's a song
That's
for everything, I tell you. That has to be one of your songs.
No, but
in
you
real
pull the
life.
classics out. It's hilarious because it's not the ones you expect.
You do that with, you know, I love real Black men in real life. You do that with
I
your
do.
food.
Thank you.
And I love that because I was like, oh my God, that's the perfect song for him.
Listen, you can make your own like playlist
Yes.
for all of, yes.
I'll be looking at it like, I love me some.
Oh, I haven't used that one. You know what? I also didn't want cliche man love songs. I needed the ones that we liked because we liked them, not because it said anything specific. Like
I mean,
I'm
the thing
so
is,
against
like,
that. Like, you can't be
know,
obvious.
That era though spoke to us
Yeah, it did.
musically. So there is a song for everything musically because that era spoke for us musically. So the choices that you be picking up, like, yeah, she picked the right song for that.
Yeah.
And it makes you keep watching the video because you're like, yes, you know? But yeah, talk to us about how you started I Love Black Men.
Okay, so well, there's a way that particular series happened, and then there's overall like appeal for Black men or whatever. I don't know. I'm a Black woman. I was raised by them. I might have had my issues, but I started to look at them more in a human and holistic kind of way that made me respect that humanity and want to showcase that because it wasn't something that I personally felt I saw a lot of.
Yeah.
You know, like when artists use Black men, it's about their bodies or their struggle, their pain and fighting through all of that, you know, seeing them in the grass with flowers or, you know, in suits. And it's like the everyday guy who will still pick up flowers for his wife on his way home from work. Is ignored. That guy that's just like not doing anything special is not getting no kind of acknowledgement.
Yeah.
So I kind of fell into a bunch of men and had my camera. So my friend Marlon does stoop sets in the summertime.
Shout out to Marlon Rice.
Shout out Marlon Rice. Shout out Marlon Rice's sisters, actually. But we'll get into that. because it was their idea, the soup set. He just took it and was just like, let me do something with this, and that's what happened. But the soup set this year, there were so many men in attendance, like more than I can remember seeing in the past. And I had this goal to just create a real cinematic real experience by filming everything in slow motion. I was like, something's gonna come out of this. And once I got home and saw the footage, I was like, oh wow, these little men videos is cute. Let me put them all together, right? And so I was like, I know I'm gonna make a recap reel about the event. Let me just do this one first because this is from me. This is mine. The recap reel's for y'all. So I put that one out, and then I just watched all of the numbers, right? And I was just like, all right, so the men video's not getting as much, even though I thought it was the flyest one. And I had a conversation with Marlon, and he said the same thing. I was like, you know what? All right, we're going to challenge the people because I need to see something different. I need to know whether it's the algorithm. I need to know if it's the men. I need to, So I challenged the people to sort of prove me wrong. And they did, right? So I wanted everybody's videos to get 20,000 views. Like I thought that was a lot. And so I put one up. I put one up, and then it got to 20,000 views by like, I don't know. On Instagram, actually, it took a while. But somebody said put it on TikTok, so I put it on TikTok. And in the first video, it got to 20,000 views probably before the end of the first day. Right? It took a week or so to get to 100,000. I think it might be almost 200,000 now. But either way, I just kept doing it, and all of the videos got at least 5,000, I think. And on a slow scale or small, it's like 500. But that's still like a lot compared to the food videos in the same space that they was like, meh. Like I was putting all kind of energy into these food videos, and people was just like, oh, that's nice. Where's the recipe? And I'm just like, okay. But then it was nothing like this. They do.
Women are looking for men.
They are.
These numbers do not lie.
These numbers do not
Black
lie.
men, we love you.
Absolutely. And, I remember telling Real, like, I had a cousin call me from Texas. And was like, girl, you on TikTok? And I was like, yeah. She was like, there's these girls. No, she said, there's these videos up there of black men from Brooklyn. Do you know that? And I was like, what?
Like we all know each other.
Yeah. I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, oh no, it's these videos with these black men, some fine black men. And I was like,
Hey, what?
I was like, you talking about I love black men? I was like, you talking about, and she sent me the video.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I know the person who makes these videos. She was like, you know her? No, she said, you know him? I said, no, it's a her. And she was like, you know her? She know them?
Everyone wants to know who the guys are. So I thought that I would use the men to promote my cookbook. To be quite honest, it was mostly like, well, y'all like the men know me, they're gonna say yes. I don't have a problem with that. Y'all can just come learn how to make these peanut butter and jelly sandwiches through them because you want to see them. And then it was just like, that we don't like the cookbook, but we really like the men. So my friend came, she was just like, you really need to help these people get together. Yeah. Like just a little bit. And I was like, fine, we play a game, but they'll get together on their own. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And I think that's what happened. I mean, I'll have to find out if there's been any connecting that happened. But I think I made it look like there was a few connectings that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing thing. We were talking on a drive here, and I was saying to you, like, I think it's amazing. It's innovative, number one. It's amazing what you're doing because it is closing the gap between the men and women, black men and black women war that is happening right now. Yeah. And it's showing that, we actually do love our men. We actually do appreciate our men. We actually do need our men. That part. And we want you guys. We do. And it's just showing that appreciation and, hopefully that is, steering us in the right direction to close and stop this war that is happening between black men and black women and learning how to come together overall. So, I think that's really dope. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I love seeing it when it comes down my feed, whether it's on Instagram or it's on TikTok.
I
you
gotta
know,
update my TikTok.
and I be like, oh,
Yeah, TikTok's your world.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
it is
Listen.
absolutely
TikTok is Luna's space.
Listen, I told
She makes the fun
Eurila-
videos. Her dancing.
I told her, I was like, you doing God's work right now.
That's what everyone says.
cause God. I'm pretty sure it's in the planning stages, and you know where you're looking to go with in real life. You know, I love Black men, but what is your goal for that?
Well, because I know the power of imagery, it's to use that power to almost reverse the curse, so to speak. So like the way people have this viscerally negative reaction to Black men, I would love for it to switch. You know? I had someone reach out to me during the advertising and asked me if the event would be a safe space for women. And I was just like, well, why would you even ask me that?
Right.
And it was because her initial reaction was like, okay, I know a lot of women won't come forward when they've been abused. So it's a lot of things that's being hidden. You know, that kind of reminded me of how that works. And I'm just like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
How would you take that from that?
Yeah, because I feel like
it's a
that's two
personal
different
thing.
worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely. However, it's still something that I know is used intentionally. So like, if you look at the news, like when you see Black men in majority, it's not something positive. Even if it is positive, they're not using the right images to display that. So like, just using the police as an example, and how there's 100 ways to get people out of the police precinct without you seeing them. Paparazzi is not one of them. It shouldn't be, but it is, because it gives the public a perception that this type of person needs to be in handcuffs.
Yeah.
They don't cover their faces. They don't, give them the courtesy of respect. So it's to challenge that and to create a contrast for that. So like the regular dudes that you're seeing on your feed aren't looking like this either. So when they come up this way, you're like, it makes you stop.
Yeah.
You're like, one, they're moving in slow motion. And then that's before the music
Yeah.
comes on. And then when they come on, you're like, what? Oh, this is nice.
Like, I'm in love.
Right. And then they be like, oh my God, girl, he looked right at me.
Oh my God.
They love that.
Listen, wait, what was
Did he call my name? Hey. Hi, Johnson. You ain't naming them yet. Hey, John.
Oh,
Any favorites?
I love the one you did from the Do the Right Thing.
Uh-huh.
That the block party. That was like
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
because I was actually there.
That
like,
one has over 200,000 views.
Listen, and well deserved because that was like
There was some faces in there.
I was in like watching season 2 of it. Like, I'm just sitting there
Sound like Loretta Devon, right? Yeah, wait until it's like, is he watching?
Right?
But yeah, no, I was probably like a good like 5K of them views because I was just like watching.
I tell you, it's a replay. You keep replaying.
Yeah.
The music makes it feel good. Beautiful looking men,
Yes.
and you just like, oh, I tagged one of my friends because I seen him in one of those videos,
Oh,
remember? And I was like, hey, look at you, D, look at you.
Who was that?
Dejan. His name is Dejan. But I tagged him on Instagram, one of your videos.
Okay.
He was like, oh, snap, yeah.
You remember what he looked like?
Brown skin. Yeah.
They all brown skin.
Yeah, they all brown skin. I love a chocolate man.
Shout out to Deshaun and all the other beautiful brown skin men.
Yes. Shout out to you. Thank you guys for letting me exploit you. Because that's essentially what it is. It's exploitation.
I think it's a positive exploitation because it's we're not like heavily sexualizing them. They're being shown in like the most positive of lights, just in their natural elements.
Yeah.
They're just moving around the street, doing their thing and looking good doing it.
Yeah.
Someone compared it to Nat Geo. I was like, I've always wanted to be a Nat Geo photographer.
Amazing. You know what? That was one of my first goals when I started. Yeah.
Like a national treasure.
National treasures.
Y'all,
Yeah. No,
this
it
is
is.
Girl Podcast. You already know
Girl
TONISTEELZ, Luna Pearl. We got Eurila, Everyday BK.
Thank you for
And
having me.
we are here enjoying some peanut butter and jelly grilled cheese.
And it's so
sandwiches.
filling. Like,
And I'm about to grab a bite because I'm tired of just looking at it because we didn't come here to just look at the food.
No, we didn't. We about to eat. So stay tuned. We're gonna be right back, and we're gonna get into some more combo and some more food. Alright, go.
Crunchy.